The valley floor shook under the heavy, rhythmic footsteps of Goliath. He stood 9 feet tall, a mountain of muscle and malice. His bronze armor glinted like a furnace under the midday sun, casting long, predatory shadows over the valley. For 40 long days, he paced the ridge, his voice booming across the camp of Israel like a crack of thunder. "Send out your best man!" he roared, his spear tip carving deep, jagged furrows into the dry earth. Below, the soldiers huddled in terror, their knuckles white against their shields, eyes fixed firmly on the dust. Then, amidst the sea of iron and fear, David arrived. He carried no sword, only a weathered shepherd's staff and a small leather pouch. He pushed past the trembling guards, standing small but resolute before King Saul. The king offered his heavy iron armor, but David shook his head, feeling the weight of tradition was not his path. He stepped down into the dry creek bed, the water-worn silt crunching beneath his sandals. He knelt, his fingers sifting through the earth until he found 5 smooth, white stones. He tucked them away and turned toward the ridge. David walked toward the giant, his pace steady and rhythmic. Goliath stopped his pacing, leaning his massive weight on a spear that looked like a weaver's beam. His face twisted into a jagged, mocking grin. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" Goliath bellowed, his laughter echoing against the canyon walls like a landslide. But David did not flinch. He reached into his pouch, his fingers locking around a single, cold stone. "You come against me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin," David shouted, his voice cutting through the giant's roar like a blade. "But I come to you in the name of the Lord." David broke into a run. He pulled the leather sling from his waist, whipping it overhead in a blur of motion. The sound was a rising whistle, a scream of leather against air. With a snap of his wrist, the stone flew. It struck the center of Goliath's forehead with a sharp, sickening crack. The giant stiffened, his eyes rolling back into his head, and he crashed face first into the dirt like a falling oak tree. The valley went deathly silent. David stood over the fallen warrior, the sling hanging limp at his side as the dust settled. Then, the silence shattered. The soldiers of Israel rushed from their tents, a tidal wave of steel and shouting, their cheers rising to meet the sun. The giant was down, the shadow had lifted, the impossible was done, and a new king had begun his journey.